Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be doing the first impression on the Juno Microfiber sponge. And I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like dry, but I'm about to wet it in a second. It said it can be used wet or dry, but I always tend to like wet sponges. But here's what it looks like dry. I'm gonna go wet the sponge and I'll be right back. To me it looks like it grew in size, but here's what it looks like now. And I'm going to be using the foundation I'm going to be using to test this out is one that I already know works well with a sponge and a brush, so it's one that's like will be the best like testing foundation. And it's the Ready Set Gorgeous by CoverGirl. I have this in color 220 soft beige. Soft honey. For primer, I haven't primed my face yet, but I'm about to prime it. Let's see. My skin's kind of dry right now, so I think what I'm going to use is, in my T-zone a little bit, I'm going to use the Smashbox Pore Minimizing, and in my outer of my face, I'm going to use the Becca First Light Priming Filter. Sponge doesn't accentuate dryness because like I know some like brushes accentuate my dryness around my nose, and most sponges don't, but this one is fuzzy, so we'll see. I got about that much foundation on there. I'm gonna start out with just a little bit of the sponge. This feels weird on the face a little bit, but it seems to be working. It doesn't seem to be like soaking it up. It seems to be like staying on the top of the hairs. Over this. I feel like I'm putting a carpet on my face. See. It does. It feels like a throw rug is on my face right now or something. This gave the amount of coverage with a regular sponge would have gave with like more than the tiny. I haven't even dented this foundation that I put on here yet. This foundation is a little dark for me. Yeah, I think that's it for foundation. This gave a pretty high coverage considering with the sponge, this foundation gives like a medium coverage, like a lighter side of medium. And it seems to me like it's giving on like the end of medium coverage, getting to full. So let's try this with concealer. I'm going to try this with the concealer I already know is not that much coverage, just to see what this does with it. I'm going to use the Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum. Okay, let's use this little this for concealer. It does give more coverage than normal. I feel like I'm looking more bright in camera. But this concealer also is brighter than this foundation because this foundation is a little bit dark for me. I don't know if you could tell. I don't know. But yeah, this gave a lot more coverage than usual. Let's try this with powder, and as you can notice, it grips on to the leftover foundation. The sponge does. It doesn't like soak into the sponge. It stays on the little hairs on the outside. But let's go in with powder, and I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier translucent powder, the one that everybody talks about. And I'm going to take the tip of this sponge. This really grips onto the powder. Let's see. I like this for powder. It doesn't really deposit the powder good. The powder tends to stay on the sponge. Yeah, I don't like this for powder. I'm going to use a brush for powder. I also feel like this foundation, I feel like my foundation looks slightly more dry with this sponge than it would with a regular sponge. And this foundation doesn't normally look super dry on me or anything, but it does look a bit dry today. Yeah, it does have a tinge of dryness. Now what I'm going to do is, that's all I really do use a sponge for with my makeup. But I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and come back and let you guys know how I feel about it. Okay, so I'm back. I don't even think I read the instructions on here. I did read them, but I don't think I read them on camera. It said to apply dry makeup products like powder. It says make sure your sponge is dry, which I think my sponge was pretty dry when I used the powder. Okay. Yeah, I think I did it, I think I did it the right way. It says, fully wet your Juno sponge by running it underwater and squeeze out like excess liquid. Apply dime size amount to the back of your hand to start. I did a little bit more than that, but I didn't pick up more than dime size. Okay. Be sure to dab and blend for a flawless look. Gradually add more product to stipple and achieve. Yeah, I did it. I think I did it that way. That's pretty much the way that I did it. But it comes with a little booklet of how to use it. I'm going to zoom in. I haven't put any setting spray or anything yet because I just want to show you guys, like, the dryness that this added a little bit. Like, around my nose. I don't know if you can see it on camera. It doesn't look really bad, but it did add a little dry / cakiness there. And, but that's the only place that it looks dry and cakey. After I added all the rest of my makeup, it seems to look better. So yeah, I do like the sponge. I don't know if I wouldn't recommend this for people that like the beauty blender and how it shears stuff out, and like Real Technique sponge, how it shears things out a little bit. If you want full coverage but you want to use a sponge that's a little bit damp to like give a little bit more hydration or whatever, then I would recommend this. It says you could use it like a brush. It's a brush and a sponge in one or whatever, but I wouldn't use it for bronzer and all that stuff. But foundation concealer, I like it better for foundation than I do for concealer, just because I like my concealer to get sheared out a little bit, especially if it's like a super full coverage concealer, because I don't have super bad under eyes, or super, not bad, but super dark under eyes or anything. But if you do, I think you would really like this. And as you can see, it doesn't really soak up the product. The little hairs keep the product on there. And that seems like it'll make it easier to clean as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to see more videos from me, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.